sand down this handle, and rather than doing it by hand, which I could do, I'm going to use the power tool that I have down here in the shop. I want to have something in here to drive this, but I don't want to have a real solid connection on it. I don't want to clamp this edge, and I want to be real careful about jamming up this face here. So I'm just going to slip it over this chuck jaw, and then there's a spot on the back of it from where it was made, where the turning was done, and I'm just going to slide that up just a little bit over the handle, enough to drive it, but not enough to put any force against it. I'm running at about 1,000 RPM. This end right here has been pretty badly beaten up. This end down here, all I want to do is just scuff the surface. I got rid of the splinters and the rough marks. I'm going to give it a little more shot down here. Now you notice I'm holding the sandpaper underneath. If I was to hold the sandpaper like this, it's a good chance that sandpaper is going to grab a hold of the shaft and cause it to grab a hold of my fingers. By holding the sandpaper underneath, if it does snag, it's just going to pull it out of my hand. So I'm always trying to be very careful when I'm doing any sanding on the lathe, just to make sure I don't get myself caught. I'm not going to sand off where the ferrule goes because I don't want to have that get any smaller. always stand back out of the way when I first start the lathe. 2 reasons. Sometimes there's oil or grease on the part that you're going to turn, and that lets all that stuff fly out and land someplace else other than on you. Then there's also the chance that the part might come flying out. And that is something we don't want to have happen. And what I was looking for is I wanted to make sure that this live bearing on the shaft was turning, that I had a good grip on it. If I don't have enough grip on this end to drive that little ball bearing in there, I don't have it gripped tightly enough. Now, if you're concerned that I'm ruining the patina on the handle, this is a handle. It's where you grab a hold of it. All those marks right there are where the saw actually hit into something. I would imagine, since it's a saw handle and that's in line with the blade, this is where the saw handle hit the tree. So you've got all these splinters and tough spots on here, and I really don't want to have that on a saw that I'm going to be using. Seeing as how this is a 2-man saw and there's only me in the picture, might be a while before I get a chance to actually try this thing out, but I still have to clean up the saw blade and sharpen it up, and that'll be a while. So right now I need to put some boiled linseed oil on these parts, let them dry so that I can get on to the next project. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments below. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.